people get involved in your campaign. They say, you know what, I love this woman. I love what she's doing. She's fighting for us. This is John Villarreal reporting for Conservative New Media.
I want to bring on Craig DeLuz. Now, Craig, you are an expert in politics. You were actually a client of ours. You ran for the 5th Assembly District, and you are really someone who's on the forefront here of trying to open up the Republican Party, definitely here in California, and the conservative movement to the minority communities and try to get the Republican Party here in California back to its conservative roots. Tell me about that and tell me what's going on with these situations.
Well, you know, I've been involved in Republican Party politics now for about 16 years. You know, I've done it as a volunteer, I've done it as a legislative staffer, I've done it as a candidate, I've done it running volunteer organizations. And, you know, the sad part is I think, well, sad and exciting part at the same time is this year, if there is a year that we look to be, I mean, to really take things to the next level, this is the year that ought to be the case. And I think the challenge we're facing is I don't know if we're up to it. I think we got a lot of people who haven't been involved before, who are excited, who are energized, and who are ready to do it. I just don't know that our leadership is ready to do it.
Well, look, I like what you're saying right there, and you can go as far as you want to go. You know me, you know my mouth, and you know that I'm the conservative outlaw, and there are no holds barred, particularly on the John D. Villarreal radio show. Look, we talked about it before, and I've talked about it before. It's like this. I'm all for the party, man. I've been involved, as you said, you know, I've been involved since I was 17, dude, before I could vote. I went out to New Orleans with the RNC and Bush Sr. and the whole 9 yards, work with Quayle and work with Tony Blankley and work with Newt Gingrich and work with Lee Atwater, late Lee Atwater. He was great. The whole situation. So I've been involved. So, I mean, when I listen to these people out here, like, oh, I'm the insider. It's like, bro, I've been involved in so many more cycles. You are nothing, dude. You don't know what you're talking. And I think we know who we're talking about here. And that's fine. Like, I'm not anti-anybody. I'm just pro-John, and I'm just pro-winning for the conservative movement. And my frustration comes with, I don't need anybody to pat me on the back or kiss my behind or anything like that. You want to pay me some dollars for working, doing great work. That's great. But I just want our side to win. And that's my frustration, is because, as we said, if you can't win in this year, you can never win. You are a failure. So all these people talking about great strategists and my vision for the Republican Party in California. Dude, if you can't win, you're an idiot. If your candidates can't win in this year, you're an idiot. It is served up and teed up for you. You have voters that are so upset at Obama, and you have a Tea Party movement who has its foundations and base right here in California. It's all there, and you still can't win.
Well, John, the problem is this, and I don't know that if I put as much... Well, ultimately the blame, or I think the responsibility lies with the leadership. But in our party, in particular here in California, the biggest challenge we have is overcoming the consultant class.
Yeah, there you go, brother.
Those people who've been running campaigns, I'll say for the last 15 years, but I'll say at least for the last 10. These are the people who have gotten used to just running Republican primaries, where you don't have to actually go toe-to-toe with Democrats. You run, you win in safe Republican districts, and your candidate is the candidate. These are the folks who have these cookie-cutter campaigns, and they don't know how to deal with, or communicate with the changing demographics of California.
Correct.
And the point is, I'm not talking about people who are liberal. I'm not talking about the demographics changing in terms of the politics, because quite frankly, Proposition 8 passed here in California.
Yes.
We voted down major tax increases. California is a center-right state. The problem is that we have as the demographics are changing in terms of age and in terms of ethnicity, we don't have consultants who know how to communicate beyond our Republican base. And to make it even worse, they don't want to work with people who do know how.
Correct. There's no doubt about it.
They have to share their check.
That's bingo. And I've run up against this, and I've been very vocal on this, and they wanted to shut me up and muzzle me and censor me in my personal opinion, and I wouldn't have any of it. And then it's like, oh, you'll never work again. It's like, dude, if you fools, you are fools. I will beat you with my hands tied behind my back, blindfolded. I can campaign better. I can debate better. I have more knowledge on the issues than any of these people running at any level of the ticket right now. And I'll just say that right now. And if you don't like it, I don't care. Run a better campaign. And I mean, these people that are supposedly the insiders and the experts, dude, show me where you went to school. Show me your degrees. Show me your IQ test. Show me a winning campaign. How about that? Forget about everything else. Just show me a winning campaign, because you don't have any. And all these things, oh, we're going to send out mailers and oh, look at her cash on hand. Oh, how much cash on hand did Christine O'Donnell have when she beat Mike Castle? 20 grand, bro. And I helped all these campaigns. I helped out Scott Brown, Sharon Angle, Christine O'Donnell, Joe Miller. I mean, on and on and on. They're all winners. They're all winners. I mean, how does that work? It's like, because these people don't understand. If a Scott Brown can win in blue Massachusetts, if a Chris Christie can win in blue New Jersey, if we can really turn Virginia around when Obama won there by 8 points, then gosh dang it, we can win here in Reagan country, and these people can't win, Craig.
A lot of it comes down to just a few things. Number one, the only thing that they respect is it used to be a time when you found the best candidate and you made sure that candidate had the money they needed to win.
Right.
Nowadays, whichever candidate has the most money, that's the best candidate.
Bingo.
That's how they measure the quality of a candidate. How much money, in particular, how much money of your own do you have to fund your race?
Right, because they can't raise money out here. Because none of these people can raise money. They're supposed to be the gurus. We got this person in there at this level because they can raise money. Well, how much money do they raise? It's almost a joke. It's a joke. And you know who I'm talking about. You know the several people that I'm talking about. Then they want to talk about who's legitimate and all this backroom stuff and all the texts and the emails. It's like, dude, shut up. Stop worrying about me and go out there and win a race. Or go out there and how about you actually appear on a radio show where you don't sound like an idiot? How about you appear on a radio show where you're saying something that actually motivates people? How about you say something other than the 3 or 4 speeches that you say every time that I can do better than you? I mean, it's so big. And Meg Whitman, and I want Meg Whitman to win like nobody's business, but she spent $115 million, and this is what you get for it? Jeez, I want to know. Okay, I can go off, and I will. And I will continue to do that. All right, did, brother. But give me your vibe on Meg Whitman. What's your take on this whole Nannygate deal?
Well, first of all, it's a cheap political stunt. And it's not the first time Gloria Allred has done this. She did the same thing to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yep.
In the end, here's what it comes down to. She had someone who she employed. She went through an employment agency. You assume that an employment agency is going to do their job and verify and get all of that information.
Right. Meg Whitman's
got
the INF.
appropriate documentation, and there's certain things that are consistent. Number one, everyone agrees that she had showed that the name and the number on the Social Security card didn't match, which means everyone agrees that she had used forged documents to get a job. That's number one. The second thing is that they agreed that they sat down with Meg Whitman and her husband and told them that she was not there legally. Now, if she knew that they knew before, why did she have to sit down with them?
Yeah.
And as soon as they found out, what did they do? They fired her, which, by the way, you have to do. As an employer, if you find out that you cannot knowingly employ someone who is in the country illegally.
Right.
You can't. So it all comes down to, well, she wasn't nice. Let's talk about not nice. She didn't call immigration on you, did she?
Right. She paid you $23 an hour.
That sounds pretty nice to me.
That sounds pretty nice. She paid you $23 an hour. I mean,
right.
Look, this is the thing, and this is my frustration. And I don't know how much time you have, but I'd love to keep you for the next segment too. And look, I told everybody, and these consultants have I was going to run for the 11th congressional district here. In the primary when John Delarose was doing it, whatever, because I felt like, hey, Obama's doing this, and if anyone can run and win, I can do it, and the whole 9 yards. And we don't need to get into all that right now. But the first thing the people, the powers that be, and my opponent asked me, so who's your consultant? Nobody. I don't need a consultant to tell me what to think. I don't need a consultant to win. Now, of course, this is my business and stuff like that. So, I mean, I know this stuff, but I mean, it's like, dude, I know in my heart what's what. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Christine O'Donnell didn't have any consultants, everything like that. And then, nothing against consultants that are good. But the problem is, as you said, is right now we have this class of quote unquote so-called insiders and consultants in California. All they do is stupid mailers and precinct walks and phone banking, none of which works. Doesn't mean it doesn't work at all. It means that if that's...
Let me go back on that, though, because here's the thing. They're not doing the precinct walking that you need to do.
Well,
They're depending mostly on media and mail, and the reason why they depend on media and mail is because that's how they get paid.
Bingo. They get 15%,
They're not
20%
doing
of
new
it.
media. They're not doing a lot of grassroots stuff. Not to the degree that they need to do. They're not building relationships with local volunteers. They're doing the stuff that they get
paid for.
To do.
That's right. They get paid on the fundraising. They get paid on a monthly stuff, retainers and that, whatever. They get paid on media placement, 15 to 20% on what they place out there. I've had Chuck DeVore tell me straight up that they don't do this new media stuff, and I agree with you that they should. On my seminar that I gave on new media stuff at our convention with the young Republicans, I said, I think the campaigns now and we really need to put 15 to 25% into new media stuff. He's like, I agree with you, but the consultants won't do it because they don't get paid on that stuff. That's what he told me. That's Chuck DeVore, okay, who was running for Senate. Everyone that loves Chuck DeVore, that's what Chuck DeVore said. And so, my thing is, I'm not here to fight new media versus old media because, I think we'll win that battle, but that's a whole other. My thing is, forget about that. Take everything of JDV and conservative new media out of it and just say this. These people don't know how to run campaigns. They don't know how to win. I'm so sick of the eggheads, whether it's Mike Murphy or whatever. How do we get, like Russia's, how do we get this 10%, 15%? That's fine. You can be a number cruncher. You can be a number cruncher, just like the guys that, because I've done a lot of stuff, Wall Street and taking companies public and all that type of stuff in the Silicon Valley. And there's two types of people that pick stocks and whatnot. And there's the technicians. They just go off pure numbers. And there's the people that actually study stocks like Peter Lynch and whatever and study companies and management and products and stuff like that. And the technicians like, Mike Murphy and Rove and the other, in my personal opinion, they don't really understand politics of what makes a great campaign and what can motivate and energize people the way a Scott Brown can, the Christine O'Donnell can, a Sarah Palin can. They don't understand that. Doesn't mean that they aren't very, very skilled. And doesn't mean that they can't do what they do, but that's pretty much all they can do. It's a one-trick pony, and it's one-dimensional. And now we're in a new age with, as you said, shifting demographics, shifting population, shifting technology, shifting media, and these people are like dinosaurs. And it'd be one thing if they say, you know what, I want to learn it. I want to get a Craig DeLuz in here. I want to get a JDV in here. I want to learn the new stuff. I want to help people out. But they're not doing that. They're saying, forget you. Keep out. In my personal opinion, I want to keep cashing the checks. I want to act like we're the insiders. And for anyone, and I like Karl Rove a lot, but his attack on Christine O'Donnell when he went on Hannity was so vicious, it was ridiculous. Craig, stay with us. We have so much more to talk about. This is great. This is this is what you get on the John D. Villarreal Show. You get real talk, no BS, the inside stuff. We're going to be right back with your calls. Craig DeLuz and Paul Villarreal on the John D. Villarreal Show on the Conservative New Media Radio Network.